Hey guys, welcome into Fantasy Football Academy 2020. As always, I am the Dean, your host, coming to you from a very special pre-Thanksgiving Day episode of Start Set for Week 12. Guys, we are 2 weeks away from the start of the playoffs. What does your team look like? Do you need the win now? Are you planning for the playoffs? Planning for a deep run? Have you locked up your first week bye? Maybe your league does that. I know I myself in our league of record, the first and second place teams, currently the Slutty Mutts and returning champ, they both will get a bye for week 14, which will send them directly into week 15 and a shot at the Super Bowl. So, what does your team look like? I'm here to help. I'm here to maybe get you that win that you need, or maybe even look forward into your deep playoff run. So, let's get started. If you missed the episode with all the injuries, go back, check it out down the bottom, subscribe, like, and share for me, and you can find out who's hurt, who to start, and who's coming back. Okay. So a lot of people ask me, hey, Dean, how do you do your start sets? How do you determine who, which players are starting, which players are setting? Here's the thing. There's certain guys, and we're going to take a look at them in just a second, that are locked and loaded. You plug them in and you forget about them. Now, with COVID, with all the injuries that have happened, those players are few and far between. If you have multiple ones on your roster, 9 times out of 10, you will be in the playoffs because those guys are top producers. And when you hit a bye, you really start struggling. So it's always important to have backup on your roster. So let's go ahead and take a look real quick. You guys know what time it is. It's time to thank my sponsors. Would like to take a second and thank Keller's Bakery in Lafayette off the Youngsville Highway at 627 Lafayette Street. Look, if you're in the Lafayette area, if you haven't stopped by already, go see them. Tell them the Dean sent you. Order something, get you 2 free cookies, all right? They've got pies for the holidays, whether it's tomorrow, Thanksgiving, or whether it's a couple of weeks away for Christmas. If you're going to get together, remember to be safe. Number 2, remember, get a Keller's Bakery pie. I myself am getting one. We're getting a pecan pie for the missus, so she loves pecan pie. They have an absolutely phenomenal homemade recipe that is killer. Remember, if you don't like pecan, if you want something else, that's fine. Get the family what they want. You can get yourself a little 4-inch. They come in 9-inch and 4-inch variety of pies. Make sure you go see them. Check them out on Facebook. If you're in the area, go see them. If you want to order, you can order on Facebook as well. They do accept orders through there. So here we are looking at all taken players. My streamers are the guys who are available. Okay, so what I'm going to give you is I'm going to give you some sits for guys who are in the top 25 that might have a hard time this week. So some guys are in the top 25, and we're going to start off with quarterback. Now, these top 5 guys, Murray, Wilson, Mahomes, Rodgers, Josh Allen, all those guys, those are locked and loaded. If they're on your roster, you're starting them. Okay. Now, the next guys, see Brady. It's going up against KC. Might have a little hard time, but I'm not going to tell you to set them. Okay. They're coming up on an important run for the playoffs. You know that Brady wants to get in there to show Belichick that he can do it without him. Deshaun Watson has been playing out of his mind and has an outstanding matchup this week against Detroit on Thanksgiving Day. Prime time, special day. You know that big players play big in big games. Justin Herbert. Look, he's going up against Josh Allen. And this could be a shootout. Okay. I'm trying really hard not to seize right now. Now, the next couple of guys are going to be on my sit list. Okay. Now, what I tried to do is I tried to give you 3. I'm going to give you 4 to sit this week. Okay. Ryan Tannehill starts off, and they're pretty much all in succession, as you can see right here. Okay. Tannehill gets the Colts. The Colts are, I believe, the number 2 defense in fantasy right now. They are shutting people down. Okay. Tannehill's never really been one to just fly off, and he's not going to, he does well against bad defenses. He doesn't do great against great defenses. And this Colts defense is a great defense. So sit Tannehill. Next up, Big Ben versus Lamar, Pittsburgh versus Dallas on Thanksgiving Day. Now, we all know that if this wasn't a Pittsburgh, Dallas, or Pittsburgh, Baltimore matchup, I would be telling you to go ahead and start Big Ben. But he is dealing with some injuries, and we're going to look back at his game log here real quick. We see the last time that he played Baltimore was back on week 8. Yes, he had a pretty decent showing. I mean, he got 2 touchdowns, but he only threw for 182 yards. Guys, this right here is what I'm talking about. Is this game is going to be a slugfest. It was 28-24 last time. He threw for 182 yards and 2 touchdowns. Without those 2 touchdowns, that 19-point performance drops to a dud. Okay? Take the 6 points away, you're left with a 13-point performance. And who wants that out of their starting quarterback? Okay? We see up here, week 6, 2 weeks earlier, 162 yards and a touchdown, which is pretty much what he would have gotten without at least one of those touchdowns. 13-point performance. So what am I telling you? I'm telling you that James Conner is going to be a running back that you're going to want to roll out. You couldn't roll him out last week, but this week, definitely look at that. So Big Ben, I'm not starting if I can pivot to a better option, okay? Now, if my option is Lamar Jackson, yes, I would be starting Big Ben. Look here at his game log, and I will tell you to sit Lamar Jackson. We see here, he has not thrown over 300 yards. He even hit under 100 yards against KC. And we see the last time he played Pittsburgh, he was 208. He had 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 18-point performance. Again, if you take away one of those touchdowns, he will drop down to a 12-point performance. Nobody wants that, okay? Also, the Gus Bus is the only show riding in town. That's the only one, and we're going to get to that when we hit running backs. Now, my next guy, last guy on the list for your sit. I'm going to scroll down here. And we get Cam Newton going up against Arizona. Yes, Cam had a great performance last week. However, I'm going to scroll down here and remind you guys of who it was against. It was against Houston, guys. Okay? Look, he faced Baltimore 118, 274, 174, 98, 157. Okay? Having a negative performance on your resume is not good. He's not really flashing here, guys. I mean, this is Cam Newton, former MVP. He's supposed to be getting it done with his legs. I don't see them being able to keep up with Arizona. You're going to have to throw the ball. And as you see here, Cam ain't throwing the ball, but against really bad defenses. And Arizona is not that bad of a defense. Okay, this isn't Seattle. It's not Philly. Okay, it's not Dallas. So I would be sitting Cam. Now, yes, how do I get my starters? Well, here we go. People not in the top 25. And that are, some of them are probably available. Daniel Jones being one of them. Daniel Jones gets Cincy. They get a Joe Burrow-less Cincy. This defense is going to be eating all day long on Cincy. Daniel Jones does have the weapons. He can get it done with his legs. And Cincy, look what happened against Washington last week. Okay, I think if I'm not mistaken, they had 10 points, if that. So what I'm telling you, go grab Daniel Jones if you need a plug and play for this week. Nobody's on a bye, but if your quarterback has a rough matchup that you're not confident in, if you can spare the roster spot, go get Daniel Jones. Go plug him in. He's going up against a really bad Cincinnati passing defense, okay? Next guy up, Taysom Hill. That's right. I can't believe I'm saying it either. But Taysom Hill with New Orleans, he's going to play Denver. Denver just got destroyed. Let's go ahead and pull up this log. Remind you guys what he did last week. 24-point performance, 233, 2 rushing touchdowns. Now, if this guy can get it done on the ground, which we know he can, imagine what could happen to him for his fantasy value if he could just get Michael Thomas or Emmanuel Sanders just 1 touchdown pass. Give him his 2. That's fine. But get them just 1. Okay. And as a Michael Thomas owner, I'm begging you, please just get him 1. Okay. So next up, last pick for start of the week. We're going to go all the way down here. Yes, I am picking Alex Smith. I know, again, last week didn't work out that well, but this is against Dallas, guys. Okay. Now we see here he threw for 325, 390. He had an off game here against Cincinnati, but this is Dallas. Okay. This is a primetime game. If you need a little boost, Alex Smith could be the guy for you. Okay. Now, next up, running backs. And I'm going to go start here to kick this off. Almost top of the list now. We see Chris Carson there. The only reason that Chris Carson's outside the top 25 is because he missed time. If he was his normal self, he would be farther up this list. So I'm not listing him in this. J.D. McKissic is going to be the guy that's going to be getting not only the run offense, he's also going to be being part of the passing offense. So against Dallas, J.D. McKissic, plug and play if you need a little help at running back. Next guy up, and this guy is actually one of my starts of the week, Gus Edwards. And let's see. Gus might be a little farther up than I had thought. Oop. He's not all the way up there. Might be a little further back than I thought. There we go. Gus Edwards. The reason that he is on this list is because J.K. Dobbins and Mark Ingram both tested positive, not close contact, but tested positive for COVID, which means they are out. So I know this is a tough matchup, but this is the most run-heavy team in the NFL on sheer volume. You can plug in Gus Edwards and get some good production. Okay. Next up, Kenyon Drake. Yes. Kenyon Drake going up against the Patriots. Okay. Like I said, this game's going to get out of hand quick, and then they're going to lean on the run game. Leaning on the run game means Kenyon Drake time. Okay. Now, who am I sitting? You guys know that I'm no big fan of the Big D. So it gives me great pleasure to announce that Zeke Elliott will be on the sit list for Thanksgiving Day. Now, we see here, great performance here against Minnesota, but Minnesota is not the defense that he's going to be running up against. He gets Washington, Baltimore the next 2 weeks. So if you are a Zeke owner, my man D-Money, I'm talking to you. You might want to look to pivot to a different option, okay? Next up, CEH. I know, and you're thinking, wait a minute, didn't he just have a breakout? Yes. However, he's going up against Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay actually does have a decent run defense. They are ranked 7th to opposing running backs, okay? Now we see he does have some breakout games, but we see he ran up against Carolina and the Jets. He had 6 points against the Jets. Come on, guys. Okay, you do not want that. You don't want to play that Russian roulette of is it going to be Mahomes or are they going to run the ball? If weather is bad, okay, but whether they're playing in Tampa Bay or in KC, it's not going to matter. They're not. If it's in KC and they're going to run the ball, it's going to be in bad weather. Who knows what's going to happen there? Do you really want to play? Or I'm sorry, it's going to be in Tampa Bay. So being in Tampa Bay, the weather's going to be decent. It's not going to be cold. It's not going to be snowing. The worst thing it could be is rain. And I'm pretty sure Mahomes can throw pretty decent in rain. Next guy up, and this guy kind of surprised me when I looked at it, but I'm going to go ahead and put Aaron Jones. D-Money, I'm sorry, because he's got both Zeke and Jones this week on the sit list, going up against Chicago. Now, Chicago, yeah, you can probably throw on, but their run defense ranked 9th. Okay? So, if you're looking for somebody to pivot away from, this is a guy to pivot away from. Okay? Chicago, it's a divisional game. It's late in the season. They're making a switch at quarterback, so this game could get out of hand really quick, but their run defense is very, very, very good. Do you really need to play that game this late in the season? Answer is no. Next up, wide receivers. Let's check out the wide receiver list, and we'll go with the starts. Or I'm sorry, we'll go with the sits of the week. Any Cincinnati wide receiver. Why? Because Joe Burrow is gone and they're back up, and they're going to be facing the Giants. The Giants do have a decent defense. It's their offense that suffers sometimes, but their defense is on point, okay? So they're going to pin their ears back. They're going to go after this guy. They're going to make him beat him on the ground. And we all know, if you've had Giovanni Bernard, you know that this is not a good run offense. So, if you have a pivot from Tyler Boyd, if you have a pivot from T. Higgins, please go ahead and plug them in now. Next up, Chase Claypool versus Baltimore. Like I said, this is going to be just a slugfest. I'm not really looking forward to having Claypool. He's very touchdown dependent. Deontay Johnson, yes, I will plug him in. I will start him. He is the clear-cut number one on this team. Juju, he's going to get his. It leaves Claypool as the odd man out in this trio, okay? Next up, A.J. Brown against the Colts. Look, I already said Tannehill is going to be on the sit list. A.J. Brown's on my sit list. You can't sit Derrick Henry just for the simple fact that it's Derrick Henry, and it doesn't matter what the game script is. It runs through him. So just on sheer volume, you can get him. But all these little gadget plays that they're running with Corey Davis in Tennessee, it takes away from A.J. Brown and his passing prowess. So I'm not really high on A.J. Brown this week against a really tough Colts team. Starts of the week. Might surprise you, but Devontae Parker is actually making an appearance on my starts for this week because he's facing the Jets. Look, if there are two things that you can count on in this crazy COVID world that we're living in right now, is that the Jets are really bad and you should start everyone against them. Okay. Next up, Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller for Detroit. Look, Detroit is in shambles. They're on a nosedive. I don't know what's going on, but I do know that Matt Stafford's dinged up, and this game has the possibility of getting out of hand quick and them feasting on Turkey Day in Detroit, okay? Houston's going to go in there. Now, Detroit does traditionally play a little better on Thanksgiving, but I don't think anything's going to be able to stop Deshaun Watson, Will Fuller, and Brandon Cooks. So if you have Cooks or Fuller, by all means, go right ahead. Next guy, you might have been able to pick this guy up on waivers. If you didn't, please go ahead and do so. Nelson Aguilar with the Raiders. They're going up against the Falcons. We all know that the Falcons are horrible when it comes to defense, and they will give up big leads. And Derek Carr has been playing out of his mind as of late. They gave KC a real run for their money on the Sunday night game. So if you didn't see it, go back and watch it. It was an absolutely phenomenal game. So that wraps it up for wide receivers. Tight ends, I'm going to give you 2 and 2. 2 to sit, 2 to start. A couple of big names in my sit list. Mark Andrews. Yes, I'm sitting Mark Andrews. You might be like, well, Dean, why? I thought he was good. Yeah, he's got a good upside, but look who he's facing. He's facing Pittsburgh. And guys, come on. I can't start against Pittsburgh the way that Lamar's been playing and throwing. I don't like his decision making. And Mark Andrews this is not the connection that we saw last year that made him that high of a draft pick for you at the tight end position. Next guy up, Noah Fant going up against the Saints. Okay, this is a Taysom Hill-led Saints. The defense is stepping up, and they will be shutting down Noah Fant. Besides, who's throwing him the ball in Denver? Really? I mean, come on. It's either going to be Brett Rippon or it's going to be Drew Lock, and neither one of these guys are going to be able to withstand the pressure that the Saints bring. Now, who to start? Mike Gesicki. Why? Jets. Jets. Suck. Say it with me, okay? Adam Gase, I don't know how he still has a job. I think the only thing is that they're praying that he can be bad enough, long enough to get the number 1 pick, okay? Their odds are increasing every week with every single loss. They keep putting Sam Darnold back in. Joey Flacco showed really good, deep ball, good connection with a lot of the receivers. But Adam Gase, being the offensive genius that he is, decided, they're going to stick with Sam Darnold. They're looking for the future. Jets fans, I'm sorry. So I know you're probably used to this by now. But so who's my number 2? I know it might sound kind of crazy, but Eric Ebron. Yes, I know I've been talking trash all session long, all episode long about how bad this matchup is offensively between Pittsburgh and the Ravens. But Eric Ebron could be that one shining star aside from James Conner that could show you some light at the end of the tunnel in this matchup. Big Ben loves his tight ends. He's going to get pressure. He's going to have to make a quick decision. And who's going to be his favorite dump down? Eric Ebron. Okay. If they start getting stuffed at the goal line, who's going to be his favorite target? Eric Ebron. So plug him in, play him with confidence. Defenses. I'm sitting the Chargers this week and the Pats because they're playing Buffalo and Arizona. I'm not putting my fantasy playoff future in the hands of the Chargers and the Pats when they're going up against Josh Allen and Kyler Murray. I don't care if Kyler Murray's dinged up. It doesn't matter. They're not going to be able to shut him down, either one of these guys. So Josh Allen's going to be able to get it done in the air and on the ground. Same thing with Kyler Murray. So I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but my dog is trying to make an appearance. So next up, who to start? Defenses. Some defenses you just lock in. The Steelers, the Ravens, the Colts. You lock those guys in. Those are steady. Okay, so let me show you real quick. Top 3. Okay, Miami going up against the Jets, definite lock. Tampa Bay, maybe not so much, but you never know. New Orleans, of course, you're locking them in. The Rams, yes, you're locking them in. KC, yes, you're locking them in because you never know which Tom Brady you're going to get. So, who am I starting? Look down the list a little farther, and you will find the New York Jets versus the Bengals. This is going to be an absolute feast for the Giants. This is going to be a delayed Thanksgiving Day feast on Sunday when they face Cincinnati. Now, if you're looking for a feast on Turkey Day, you look no farther than the classic matchup of my boys versus Big D. That's right. Start the Washington defense. As I've said before, the Washington D is not the Washington O. Now, the offense, yeah, it leaves a little something to be desired at some point in time, but the defense has been on point. Okay, they're going up against Dallas. Let's pull up this game log, and we'll give you a look. Last time they faced Dallas, week 7, 17 points. Guys, that's the best performance of the year. Okay, think these boys don't get up for each other? Come on now. They're going to get up and play for this game. Prime time in Big D, they're going to be ready. The crowd's not going to be a factor. So, it's going to be a big time in Big D for the big W that we're going to get the win for. So, all right, guys. So that does it for this episode of Fantasy Football Academy 2020. Week 12, start sets. Plug them in. If you have any questions, remember, you can find me on Twitter at FantasyDean20, or you can down at the bottom, subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment for me and let me know what your fantasy boggle is, okay? Yeah, I'm throwing in a boggle, a Demolition Man reference here on Fantasy Football Academy 2020, guys. So I'm a big movie guy. Look, I want you guys to do me a favor. Favorite Christmas movie, if you're watching this show, down at the bottom, leave me your take on your favorite Christmas movie. Are you classic? Are you modern? Are you Elf? Are you It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street, The Santa Claus? Or, of course, every guy's favorite Christmas movie, Die Hard. Yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. So, guys, till next time, have a happy Thanksgiving. Remember, give thanks for everything you have. You never know when it's going to be the last time that you see certain people. So, I want you guys, be thankful for those around you. Be thankful for everyone in your life. If you're married, be thankful for the missus. If you're single, be thankful for your family that you have. Okay? Remember, I'm here for you guys anytime you need. Down the bottom, subscribe, like, and share for me. And don't forget to go see Keller's Bakery if you're in Lafayette, guys. They are awesome. They are so good. It's not even funny. I can't even describe it. So, for Fantasy Football Academy 2020, pre-Thanksgiving Day, I'm wishing you guys a happy Thanksgiving. I've been the Dean. You guys are awesome. Leave me comments down at the bottom. Hope I helped, and good luck this weekend.